All right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning in to another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon as well too. I just wanted to say a happy New Year to everyone that's watching right now. If I didn't announce it before, I'll announce it again. Like happy New Year to everyone. We had great holidays and all that too, and like definitely start the new year on off on a good note and all that. And yeah, definitely check out on all platforms. Put the push notifications on the side too for the YouTube videos, and gonna get this started right here. So I actually connected with this artist a couple years back, actually at an event. So it was like actually at the Toronto Rap Stars event too. I think back in like 2023, and then
Yeah.
just noticed him on social media from there too, with a lot of the like content on TikTok and all that. Had like a lot of good singles that gained like a lot of attention too, with Bitch Need, Pour Up My Pain, and Doing My Thing. Has performed at a lot of shows in the city and all that too. And he's actually one of the rising artists in the Toronto GTA music scene that's taking a distinct and unique style to like the next levels too. So we have Spaceboi in the building. How are you doing today, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? Everything's blessed. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. Like, I mean, this is like probably like the first time we've connected since that whole Toronto Rap Stars thing and all that too. And like, I think that event too, like, it was like a good thing to like kind of network and connect and all that too. We talked about aspirations and all that type of stuff too. And then just some months back, just found out your content from there too, like on my for you page. Well, actually, on my following page too. Like when I was like checking the following page, it's like
Wow.
I think because it was like on the people you may know type thing, and like you, or if you have like friends that have like mutuals, like I just saw your stuff and like I just like noticed it too, like noticed like the hair and just connected and checked out the music, and it's been dope so far.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. But like life since then, like since that meetup too, was it like pretty like interesting too to see how things like came up and all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a journey since then. A lot of ups and downs. Like you said, since I met you at the Toronto Rap Stars event, like I released a couple singles. I've been working, just been working on like content strategy, visuals, and everything. So yeah, it's a lot of eye openers as well, a lot of challenges. But yeah, it's been a good journey
All right,
since
man.
then.
So, and I mean, since this is like your first time like on the podcast and all that too, and where did you like grow up, and what was like the environment like for you, like kind of growing up? Would you say it was a great childhood back then, or would it be different?
I wouldn't say it was great childhood. I actually was born in India, so I wasn't born in Canada. I was born in India. I moved when I was in grade 9, so
Okay.
literally did started my high school in Canada. It was, I mean, I was like sort of like a lower middle class family over there. Um, basic childhood. I didn't really have a lot of music around me. I'll be honest with you, like especially like Western music. Like my parents, my dad and my mom didn't really put me onto a lot of Western music, but it was okay. It was just like how a typical Indian kid would be living,
All right.
and yeah.
All right. And I guess the transition, like, like moving to like Canada and all that too, like which part of like Canada did you move?
So my uncle, like my dad's younger brother, is the one who sponsored us. He was living in Markham, Ontario, so that's where we first like moved to.
All right.
And since then, we've been around that area, like Markham, Ajax,
All
Pickering.
right. True, true. And I guess like, like transitioning to the norms and all that too, was it like an interesting experience, kind of going from like one different culture to like the other?
Yeah, it definitely was interesting. Like I didn't know a lot of the lingo and a lot of the things that the Canadian kids actually go by. I also did get bullied a lot too because just didn't know the vibe and everything. So it was definitely interesting to say the least,
Oh,
for
true, true.
sure.
And I mean, with Markham, it wasn't like a big like music scene at the time growing up, right?
So like I said, like when I was in India, like my parents didn't put me onto a lot of music, but when I moved to Canada, when I was living in Markham, started high school, like that's when I started getting into the Western music. Like I remember my first favorite artist when I was in high school was like Lil Wayne, and I was like bumping him heavy. And from there on, like I found out about like Drake and all the other guys and everything. So yeah, I feel like my introduction to Western music actually started when I was in Markham. Kind of.
True, true. And as far as like other artists too, so like were those like the ones that you were like kind of like listening to, or were you like listening to like other artists like prior, like from like like living in India and
So living in India, like I said, like I didn't really have that much Western influence. Like the two main artists that I was listening to was 50 Cent and Eminem, because like they were kind of like worldwide, like they were everywhere. So I didn't know those two artists. And then like there was other bands that I knew about Bob Marley. My sister was like a huge fan of like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like it was a lot of different music around, but nothing that I like strongly gravitated
oh
towards.
sure. And wasn't like at a time when like MySpace like wasn't invented or like YouTube or anything like that too. It was like
Yeah, I think U2 was like in its like early stages and stuff. Facebook has just started, so like yeah, social media was like in its infancy stage, kind of.
True. And I guess you were like, I think that didn't start to happen until like you moved to like Canada and all that too.
Canada,
Like you found
yeah,
out about like YouTube, SoundCloud, like
yeah,
that
yeah,
type of
yeah,
stuff too.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, man. As far as like you getting into like rapping and making music, like when did that happen?
So like I first recorded music by myself like around 2020, 2019. So like around the COVID times. I just literally started experimenting myself. I had a MacBook that my mom had gifted me. It had GarageBand on it. I just got a mic and I just started working on that. So initially I was just experimenting myself, and like the whole of 2020 and 2021, like it was literally just me in the basement. I wouldn't even go out and do shows. It wasn't until like 2023 or 2024 when I actually started like going out to the community and actually doing shows and everything. So I mean, if you're asking when I started making music, I would say around like 2019, 2020.
All right. And like the first song, like what was that like process like?
It was like I was just in the weeds, I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know anything about anything. Like I literally just started experimenting, started playing with like auto tune on GarageBand, tried different flows, different sounds and everything. So it was just pretty much me figuring out. Like I had no like rule book that I was following at all.
True. And like you were like the only one in your family like that made music, like
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
true.
I'm the only creative. No one in my family like even does anything remotely creative at all.
True. So like even like at that time too, like I know like with like a lot of families like they're strict about like their kids like getting into the arts or music or outside of that whole like STEM field or like even being a lawyer and all that too. So when your parents like found out about like you like doing music, like was it, like something like that you had to like kind of get it off your chest too to kind of get them to support like in the long run?
Kind of, yeah. Like if to tell you the truth, I've actually wanted to be doing music before 2020, like even like 3 to 4 years before that. But I didn't take that step because I wasn't able to like fully come out to my parents that hey, I want to do music, or even my friends. Like I was feeling a little bit of the shame factor, like like and the fact that I'm brown, I don't really come from a music community like that. So yeah, it took me a long time to fully come out and tell them that, but they accepted eventually. Yeah.
True, true. And like as far as like the inspiration on becoming an artist and all that too. So like what inspired you to even take that step forward and like even like take it seriously like in that sense?
So one was like this drive to express myself. I was like, I remember this one time I kind of ran away from my house and I was living with my homies. And a lot of my homies were like, they're creatives. Like some of them were like tattoo artists, some were actually rapping and singing, some were like painters and everything. So just looking at those like that environment, I'm like, hey, I want to express myself too. So that was one. And like sound wise, like I was listening to Travis Scott a lot. So like I wanted to kind of like, sound like him and stuff like that. So
True,
so
true.
that's the inspiration.
And like as far as like the influences and all that too, so like would you say like Travis Scott was like a very like big influence too, or like were
Huge, yeah.
there other like influences?
Huge. So my two big influences, like you could even hear my songs. It's Travis Scott and The Weeknd. That's why you hear my singing is kind of like The Weeknd, and like my rapping is kind of like Travis Scott. So those two are my huge influences, definitely. Travis being the bigger one, but I had other like artists in my playlist and stuff that I was listening to and all that. But yeah, definitely Travis and The Weeknd for sure.
And are those like artists that you want to like work with someday too, or
Oh,
like?
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Travis is like a dream goal for sure, and also The Weeknd as well.
Because I know like with their impacts too, like they did change like the industry like in a way too big because of being vulnerable like in their sounds too, like even like experimenting with like different
Yeah,
styles and energies and all that too. The Weekend with this whole like dark ambient sound, like with like House of Balloons,
yeah,
with Thursday, with Echoes of Silence, to even like his new stuff and all that too, with Starboy, with I think After Hours and all that too. Even like this like new project like see you like next like I think see you tomorrow or something like that too. So
hurry up tomorrow. Yeah,
hurry up tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So like it is like interesting like it is interesting to see too, like even with the style and all that too, and like Travis like with every other project too, with Alfaro, with Days Before
yeah,
Rodeo,
yeah.
Rodeo and all that too, with like Astro like World and all that too. So it's
Definitely,
crazy,
yeah, yeah. I like the experimentation fact. Definitely, that's actually what gravitated me towards them. I like that.
True. As far as like your creative process goes, like what's your creative process like when making music, and like what would like a day and like making music be like for you?
So making music, let's talk about like how a song would come about. So I have a beat that someone sent me, or I have a beat. I will uh I will play the beat, and initially I would just hum and I'll just mumble some stuff on it. So pretty much like I can't really just write a bunch of lyrics and rap on the beat. I don't work like that. It's just like I'll play the beat, I'll hum, I'll mumble like a flow, and then I'll keep playing that, and then I fill words in it. So that's kind of like my creative process with with music, and yeah, pretty much that's how I do it.
Yeah, and I guess you've been to like the studio like many times before, or do you do like the whole like home studio type thing?
Yeah. So it initially started with home studios, but lately, like I've been working with like other people. Like I feel like with home studio, we kind of hit that ceiling, and you can't really go beyond that. So now I prefer to work with people in like proper studios, or even if I'm working at home, I would have the engineer come with like proper equipments and everything. So we can create a good product with it.
True, true. And like as far as like being in the elements and all that too, do you do certain things to kind of be in the element to record or to even like make music and all that too?
I mean, I try to have like a clear head. Before it was like I want to be high and everything, like just to kind of have that vibe going. But now I kind of dropped that because I'm realizing that like smoking weed is actually kind of holding me back from that. So, but now it's just like being in a clear head, um, having an intention like what I'm trying to get out of this session, like and what type of song I'm trying to go for. So just a clear head and setting an intention for sure,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah, man. Like I usually like want to like dive deep on the idea of certain concepts too, like even within recording or making music. So, do you ever feel like like even like using drugs or vices like makes artists like more creative, or do you feel like it becomes like a hindrance like within like the sound process and all that?
I honestly think it depends like from person to person. For the longest time, I actually thought that I needed that, like the drugs and everything, and even something stuff heavier than weed. But I'm kind of like that perception's kind of going away now. Like I feel like it's just whatever makes you feel ready, whatever makes you feel
True.
that like inspired and everything. If doing drugs and smoking weed make you feel inspired, then I guess it's for you.
Yeah,
But for
true.
me, I feel like it sort of holds me back, especially if I do it unintentionally.
Yeah, true. Like I think like at certain times too, like it used to help people like within the process too, like even like in the 70s and 80s, people were doing like a lot of things to kind of be in the element too. And like, you hear like the best like sounding music at that time too, because there wasn't like, like a lot of like electronics, like laptops or MPCs and all that too. Like they had like, basic studio setup to instruments as well too. So they had to kind of work with what works and all that. But like I think now like when you hear it like on 808 beat or when you hear it on like a clear like beat or sample and all that too, like sometimes you tend to notice it like right away too with the elevations and pitches like where it could become like a lot like distracting or like rich and all that, so
Yeah,
yeah, man.
definitely.
As far as like I want to like head back to the childhood a bit too, so like aside from like the bullying and all that sort of stuff too, what were you like from the start of birth until now?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I've always been like when I was younger, like I was very shy. Like I had an issue with like speaking up and like talking like in like a big crowds and stuff. So the shyness has definitely been there, and that's been a huge challenge for me, like to get out of that comfort zone. So definitely, I would say like a quiet guy, shy. Uh, what else? I was a troublemaker too. I'll be honest. Like I used to get in trouble a lot, especially back home in India, and yeah, just someone that's like like just too much in his comfort zone. So
For sure.
that's been my biggest challenge, getting out of that, handling more opportunities, hopping on more opportunities and like, yeah, just being confident and just facing the world because
True, true.
that's how you're really going to get success. You have
Yeah.
to be confident,
Yeah,
face the
man.
world.
Do you feel like, like music kind of helped you in not becoming like shy anymore to have like a voice and to even getting out of like situations that you were at like one point and all that?
Definitely, yeah. That's one of the reasons I actually picked music because it helped me express myself. Like I said, like I was quiet, I was shy, but like with music, I could say the things that I couldn't say to people in public or in crowds. So that's one big thing about music. It gives you that voice that you would otherwise not have. So definitely, music opened me up a lot, gave me that confidence. But even still, sometimes I feel that sense of doubt. But it's all about pushing through that.
Because it's like, like even like with like the work and all that too, because it's like you're trying to get people to pay attention, like either way too, to hear your voice and all that too. And like I think it has like helped out like people from there too. And like, it all depends on like the attention. Like if you're getting their attention like right away too, like sometimes it could work out at one point too. Sometimes it takes a while to get people to like respond and all that too. And like it all depends on like what messages you convey within the music and like even with the styles and all that too. Because I think like a powerful message will get everyone to pay attention, like understand like what you're going through and all that. No, so yeah, man.
Definitely, yeah. That's one thing I'm working on my music nowadays because right now my music, because I told you my music's inspired by Travis, and Travis doesn't really have that many deep lyrics, right? So now I'm
Yeah,
working on like like coming across with a good message in my songs, something
yeah,
that can resonate with the audience.
yeah. That's facts, man. And like you actually talked about like having like writer's block at 1.2. So tell me more about your experience in having like writer's block and experiencing feelings of being stuck in like music right now.
So that thing's actually going on right now, like the writer's block thing. So within the last 3 to 4 months, that's what I've been feeling. That's why I've been a bit inactive on like IG and stuff because, like, I would say almost like I'm in a process of like reinventing myself right now. Like, because when I came into the industry 2024, got a lot of like attention, a lot of love from people, but then I feel like last year, like just 4 months ago, like September, October time, it kind of plateaued, and I didn't know where to take it from there. So, and then also like now I'm noticing when I'm in studio at sessions and stuff, like writing is not coming naturally and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the thing right now, and currently working on that too. I feel like it's all about just putting reps in, just like recording more and more and more. So yeah.
All right, man. And I want to like find out more about your name. So like, how did like Space Boy come about, like with the name and all that? No.
Space Boy, one, I actually love like space and cosmos and everything. I'm very big on that. Like I'm very meta and everything. Spiritually too. Like I'm all about that stuff. Space Boy. But literally when I like decided this name, I remember I was just at my house. I was sitting at the porch. It was late night. And I was scratching my head like, "Yo, what should I name myself as an artist?" And I just kind of looked up at the sky and I'm like, okay, I think Space Boy. And that's stuck since then. And like everyone likes it too. People think it's like a cool name. So yeah.
Yeah, man, no, it's pretty interesting too because I know some people like with a stage name like it can mean like a lot of like different things to some.
Yeah.
Like it comes like from personal experiences and like others it's like it varies like here and there and all that. So
Yeah, and also with my experimental sound and everything, like it's just spacey, otherworldly and stuff. So that's why I think Space Boy makes sense.
true, true. When I first heard about you too, I think the song that kind of like caught me like in attention was like Bitch Need and all that too. I think like the hook and I think just like the verse and like the beat pattern too was like very interesting too. Like it was
Nice.
like simple, like more like modified, within like these like times too to get people's like attention spans and all that too. And then you had like more introspective songs like, Pour Up My Pain, like Doing My Thing too. So what was that creative process and inspiration for those tracks?
So Bitch Need, like I'll be honest with you, Bitch Need was actually my first track that I ever recorded back in 2020. So it was recorded with an engineer, but it was one of my first tracks. And it was very organic. Like I didn't think too much on it. It's literally I had like a little demo, went into the studio, recorded the whole track. And sometimes they say like the most natural and quick things are like the hits, right? So at that time, I didn't really have too much like I was thinking on it. I just kind of went in, recorded that hook, recorded that whole verse, and that was it. And then from Bitch Need to Pour My Pain was like a 4 year gap because Bitch Need was recorded in 2020 and Pour My Pain was recorded last year, early last year. So there's a bit, and you could even see the difference in sound and everything. Like the sound has matured a little bit, is kind of like transformed. Um, Honestly speaking, I'm not a big fan of Bitch Need anymore. Like, like even at shows, like I don't really put it in the set list and everything. But
Yeah,
it's a good song. A lot of people
true,
tell me it's a great song. But
true,
yeah,
true.
but now like I'm taking a bit of a, like you said, like an introspective approach, trying different things with my sound too. Also like lyric wise and everything. But yeah, things have definitely transformed.
All right, man. And like even that song too, like I know like with like many women, like they listen to like various tracks too. So like how did like women in like your circle react to like Bitch Need and all that? No?
Oh, they love it. Women, everyone. Like whenever I perform that song, like, it's been a while since I performed it, but whenever I do, like people come up to me, they're like, "Yo, that song is fire!" Like, "Yo, is it out yet?" and stuff. Like, and they like that song. Women love that song. It's a good one. I feel like I should start performing that more now. Still,
True, true. I know what you mean, man. As far as like your interaction like with Murk too, because I know you and him are like pretty close and all that. So how did you like guys like link up and tell me more about your friendship and like working relationship with like Vile and like I don't know if you guys like worked on like music by any chance yet?
not yet. So Vile, I met back in 2024. I met him like at Loud Studios. I'm not sure if you've heard of Loud Studios. There's a studio in Scarborough. So this is like right in the beginning of me coming into the music scene. I was tapping in with Loud. They had this thing called Open Booth going on, where like
Yeah.
all the rappers come and like they just throw a verse on a beat. So I met him there, and then from there on, I found out that he's from Ajax too. He's in the same city as me. So we just started vibing, started chilling more, going to events and everything. And yeah, it's been a cool friendship with him. I'm not gonna lie. We haven't really worked on music, but like I said, like we've done some interviews together. We've shot content for some events and everything. Um, but as a matter of fact, I actually haven't seen Val in a long time. So we've kind of, as of now, we've kind of parted ways. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my own thing. But nothing but love for him. Honestly, he's a dope dude. Helped me out a lot in the industry too.
Yeah, and I mean he's like doing this thing with his like magazine brand and all that too. I
Yeah,
think like a
yeah.
lot of people like paying attention to that too. He's doing like the public interviews like pretty well and has worked with like a lot of like people like in the scene too, even with Jovi and all that too. So
Yeah, yeah. The Yark magazine, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah, yeah,
fire.
yeah, man.
That's not. I'm glad to have been a part of that for a little bit. But yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, for sure, man. And with the Toronto underground scene too, like I know like it's like a buzzing scene with like various like scenes and cultures and communities and all that too. So how do you feel about like the state of it like right now?
I feel like I'll be honest with you, like, and I have a good answer for this because I feel like it's very segregated in a way, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because since I came into the music scene, like, I never really like held on to one clique. I went everywhere. Like, I've been to the Warhol guys, like the Loud Studios people. Then I've been to the Fuck the Numbers events. I've been to like just different cliques and everything. And I've noticed like people don't like to come together like that. Like, they like to stay in their own clique. And if you're in their clique, then they appreciate you. But if you're not, then they don't fuck with you like that. So I've noticed this. Like, people are kind of segregated with their cliques right now. They're not ready to come together.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that is.
I think because like it's like being used to the community that you're actually in knowledge of. Like I know some people like if you communicate like on a daily basis, then that's the type of group that you're like going into and all that too. And I think like everyone's trying their best to kind of merge everyone together to make it work and all that too. But I feel like it's just like with scenes and cultures and all that too. Like even like getting the Toronto street artists to be with the underground, to be with the hip hop, rap, like conscious and all that. And sometimes it's a process. It's something that does take time, and like some people have tried to make it work with like a lot of like these events and all this other stuff too. But like I think the main problem is that like if you're used to being in one group, then that's like someone that you want to like work with too. And like maybe if you go to like other areas, maybe there might be like altering factors that you or that group like might not like agree with in a way too. So
Yeah.
I could definitely understand like why like certain groups don't want to connect and all that. And I've explained it before on the pod. I've explained it before like many other times too. But nowadays too, it's like getting people used to being with each other and all that in a way. So
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's my experience. Because since I came to the scene, the industry, like, I've been pretty fluid that way. Like, I went to this event, I went to that event, and I just noticed like people are just stuck in their cliques. That's how they want to do it.
true. And like, how do you like define your role like in that scene as well too?
Right now, like I said, like, my role, I'm kind of like determining my goal. Like I said, I'm even like in the process of finding management, finding a whole team. So, and that is the reason that I'm going everywhere. Like, I'm not really sticking to one team yet because I want to see like who are my people. Who are my type of people that I can actually grow with. Because then I don't want to get stuck with a team and then there's no room for growth over there. So
Yeah.
my role right now is just to kind of find my people right now. That's my goal.
Sure, man. And as far as like your experience like in building and finding a team, like how is that experience like as like an artist nowadays?
It's been okay. Like I said, I've got a videographer right now, so that's one guy on my team. But like I said earlier, like, that shy aspect, that like not being too confident aspect, definitely plays a factor in that because like you got to be able to go out and talk to people. I feel like I just gotta go to like more networking events, more Toronto rap star stuff, and like just find people that can actually help me grow for sure.
True. Like I know like nowadays there's like some people that go to concerts as well and like they interact from there too. Like was it something that you try to do like going to other artist shows or going to other events and like tapping in with like those type of people?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, I definitely be supportive. Like, like I said, I've go to all the not all the, but I've been to a few Fuck the Numbers event. I show love to the Warhol people. Some other people like Content Day, Open Concepts, and everything. I've been almost everywhere, and yeah, I try to show as much love, as much support as I can, for sure.
Sure, man. And as far as like the current state of like the music business and the industry, like how do you feel about that like right now?
I feel like the current state. I feel like it's kind of cutthroat. I definitely feel like it's cutthroat. I and also I can't even speak much on it because I'm not too much in the industry. But from what I'm noticing, I feel like it's cutthroat. A lot of people are just like help them or their own clicks type of thing, and it's a challenge if you don't know the business, if you don't know the industry. It's really a challenge getting your name out there for sure.
All right.
So I'm definitely noticing that.
True. Do you ever feel like that AI or like even with the whole like distro thing, like has it like kind of like ruined like advantages to help like a lot of like artists like nowadays too?
AI, like, a lot of people are saying that AI is actually helping them. Like, I know a lot of people like, are using AI for like the making music aspect and everything. But what do you mean like with
So
AI?
I know like nowadays too, like there's like AI artists like nowadays too, like there's like Xenia Monet and all that
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
is like the AI R&B singer that like a lot of people like in the R&B community like don't like really like approve of like in a way too, and like some people like use like AI to create like certain artists who are like to
Yeah, yeah.
create like certain groups like Timbaland's like use of like AI and all that too
Oh
to
yeah.
building like a label, even though he has like these like live streams or he's trying to communicate with like other artists too. So I feel like AI sometimes helps with the songwriting process, but other times when you're trying to take over the industry to kind of like replace artists, like that's like, one thing that people don't care because, it's not based on human emotion. It's not based on the idea of like love and value and all that
Yeah.
to a craft. It's like, you're using automation to kind of create something that, it comes from the heart and all that too. And like that's what like some artists like see too. Like there is like, certain songwriting processes and like other stuff that use like AI like in a way too, but like that's like only within the process too. And like some people like do call that out either way too. I don't know if you like watched this clip of this artist named like Baby Chief Do was saying that he uses like AI to write like his like rap lyrics and all that too. So some people like they use it as like a crutch too to help with the songwriting, but other times, it can come off as like inauthentic, like in a way,
Oh, I know artists right now that I link with that actually use AI for their writing
Oh
process,
shit.
and like it's just it's different. I mean, a little bit of using it as a tool for support with like writing and stuff isn't a bad thing. But I have really mixed feelings about like a whole AI artist like the Timbaland thing that he's
Yeah,
doing. I don't know, but I also feel like you can't really stop it because it's just innovation. You
yeah,
can't stop it and everything. But like, yeah,
no, for
it's
sure.
odd.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel about the Rock Nation distro nowadays? Because there's the 60-40 thing that they're doing for like artists that want to like sign on to like the Rock Nation distro. So like you own like 60% of the content, like with the streams, everything like that too, and then they own like 40%. So and like you see it with certain distros like United Masters and like DistroKid and with like CD Baby and like all that type of stuff too. So I don't know if you like kind of like read on that.
Not much, but like just off of what you're saying, like the artist keeping 60 and then the label keeping 40. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like if you're an upcoming artist and you really have nothing to lose, that's a great deal. I'll be honest with you. Like if you don't have a name or nothing, like that's a good deal. Like especially when they can put you into spots that you yourself won't be able to put yourself in. I would say that's a great. I'll take that deal right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
true.
I mean, but if you have an established name and you have some traction, you could negotiate that definitely, obviously. But
Yeah, true.
I feel like for beginner artists, like that's a great deal. You
Yeah,
shouldn't
true.
bat an eye for sure.
True. Because I don't know with DistroKid, like sometimes too, they do like I think like a 95 or 5%, or it's like sometimes it's like a 90-10 or 85, like or like 80-20 and all that. So
Right.
sometimes like it all depends on how you like base off the work too, and like if you have like songwriters, producers, and all that too. So sometimes some people might like find it like that works and all that too. Like I know like Russ and like Russell
Oh yeah.
like talked about like, the whole like distro situation too, that you want to have like ownership within your music, your masters and everything like that too. Others, it's like maybe you need someone to help you out like within the process too, to getting in like within like different areas too, and like even with DistroKid too, like one thing that they actually do is that they have like the whole like legacy thing where like, let's say if you like pass away or like let's say like something happens, like they like the music's still gonna be there no matter what, but you have to pay like I think like $15 like a year and all that.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah, that's crazy still.
yeah, true. But as far as like gentrification like happening in Toronto, because it is like a big thing that's like, going on right now. Do you feel like the gentrification, like even like the change of like cost of living, has ruined the aspect of Toronto's like identity, like even within the music and entertainment scene?
Yeah, for sure, man. Honestly, I feel like the rising cost of living is kind of like is hindering a lot of things. A lot of people want to instill their visions or even just like work on visuals and everything, but things are getting costlier and everything. So
Yeah,
I definitely feel like the gentrification, the rising cost of living
yeah,
is affecting a lot of people. And speaking on my case personally, like I would love to actually buy a house in the near future, and that's not looking like a possible reality right now. I'll just be honest with you. So yeah, it's tough. A lot of people are experiencing it, and I don't even know where it's gonna go from here. I
yeah,
really
true.
don't.
Because I know with the venues like nowadays too, like a lot of venues are being like shut down because of the
Yeah,
condos that are gonna like come through and all that too, and like you see like a lot of like heritage sites that used to be for music like be like torn down too, and like we only have like some like love to like the Rex and all that, and like you have your main venues like Opera House, Stanford, and
yeah,
then your Roy Thompson Halls and all that too, which probably won't go away for a while too. But I feel like now it's like hard for artists to actually perform in the city, especially like in the times too, like with hip hop and rap and R&B, how like it's like very like limited like when performing and all that too, because like not a lot of venues take hip hop and R&B artists too. So it's like I think what artists like are not like nowadays are doing, like they're using like DIY venues to like even perform like the best from the music. So
Yeah.
someone like even performing like very like west in the city or like in the East End, or they're performing at like a dingy venue and all that, to like a small bar and all that, and like sometimes to like whatever like comes out, either way,
Yeah, I feel you. Like that's one thing I've noticed too. Like a lot of the shows I'm going to, they're either in the far west or they're in the east side. Like a lot of people are avoiding the downtown Toronto
Yeah,
areas
true.
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the gentrification thing, like them trying to take down like cultural buildings, I feel like that's terrible because it's just loss of culture that just for the sake of business and commerce. So it's kind of terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
True, true. Like, what do you think might improve like on that too? Do you feel like the city or like even like the government should like step forward, or like even like people like in the Toronto scene in a sense?
I mean, helping. I mean, I feel like the government and the city should definitely help the people out in some way, shape, or form. I feel like yeah, like they should make things a little bit better for us to survive. Even not even to live like a luxury life, but just to survive and get by.
Yeah.
Also, like relating to artists, I feel like artists should be getting some sort of grants and some sort of like like expenditure money. I don't know if you've heard like there's the I don't know if it was Sweden or something that like approved
Yeah.
like an artist grant, like a
Yeah.
mandatory artist grant. So I feel like doing something like that for Canada or Toronto would be good, man. Because I feel like artists they do definitely contribute to the society. They're entertaining people. Most of the times, people think of artists and they're just bat an eye, be like, oh, whatever, you're an
Yeah.
artist, you're not really contributing that much. And I feel like that's a wrong perception. Like artists, they contribute. They entertain people. They provide a value in the community. So, and the government should look at that and they should actually help out artists for sure.
Sure, man. And I mean, like SoCan and Canadian Arts Council and Ontario Arts Council as well too. Like they're doing their thing and making sure that like some artists like are getting like the value like needed to within their grants and with everything else too. And like there are like communities that do tend to help out like with artists too. Like I know like Bee Caves like doing their thing with camp and all that. I know there's like certain communities that are using like music incubator programs like Rise,
Or
Remix Project, Metalworks, and all that too with their programs and all that too. So it does help out with the community like in a way too. Unity Charities like a good program. Like if you want to like dive deep onto the music and like with the programs too. So communities do tend to like help out and like step in like regardless and all that too. But I think even in that sense, too, like the city and like maybe even like Ontario should kind of do like a little bit more too. Like I feel like to help like artists in a way too to, and even within music communities, like with the venues, with staff, with the the curators and all that too. Like they should do like a lot more to make sure that the arts like do tend to spread on so that everyone could be of like interest, to take that in. So
yeah, definitely, honestly, and about the Toronto Arts Council and everything, I know they provide some grants too, but I know that process is like super tedious. Like
yeah,
just to even understand that, it's not easy. So
yeah, for sure,
for
man.
sure,
Yeah. And like, mental health is like a very big thing nowadays for like a lot of people too. I think right now, like even treatment for mental health is like definitely needed, especially with what's going on in the world too. So how do you like deal with your mental health as a person in your position? Like even with a lot of things like going on in life too, like do you ever felt like it can be like overwhelming,
definitely, man. I'll be honest with you. Like I've been dealing with some mental health issues for like the last few years, and I don't have a clear answer for that honestly because I myself haven't cracked that yet. So I would say like like go get therapy if you can. Even therapy I know is expensive. There was a time where I was getting therapy, but as of now, like it's just gotten expensive, so I kind of like stalled it. But yeah, man, like I definitely deal with mental health. Um, my thing is I try to surround myself with people that are gonna uplift me. You know, definitely trying to spend some alone time as well because I feel like you need to clear out the chatter from time to time. You can call it meditation, whatever you want to call it, but definitely spend some time by yourself. Have family around you, have love around you for sure, and yeah, just stay in good spirits. That's all I can say.
Sure, man. Like we just have a couple questions like left right now, but usually like I have a playlist called like TLOY's Rising Acts where some people like check out like the music from there too. Like it's like 30 songs like each for various like artists throughout the city, people like that were like on the podcast before, and like other people like in the city or like in the country that like release like a lot of content too. So for people that do want to like check you out too, and like even like to put on for the playlist and all that too, like what are like like the free songs that you would want to like put on for the playlist that you would recommend for any person that might not like know about you before that would like to know more about you like once they like finish like listening to like this podcast or like even like watching this podcast, you know?
Oh, so like three of my songs, my
Yeah.
single. So definitely would suggest my recent single, "Do My Thing." It's on all DSPs, everything, and it's "Do My Thing" by Spaceboi. Spaceboi spelled with a dollar sign and an
Yeah.
I, and so "Do My Thing" is definitely one. I think I really went hard on that track. "Pour Up My Pain" is another good one, definitely, and both of these tracks have shown like my sound and how it matured over the years. So "Pour Up My Pain," "Do My Thing," and definitely would also suggest "Bitch Need" because that was like my first track ever. So you can get a vibe of like where this artist started from, how he started his sound and everything. So "Bitch Need," "Pour My Pain," and "Do My Thing" definitely.
All right, true. Just to like kind of clarify and all that too. With staging too, because you had like the dollar sign and then the I and all that too. So tell me more about that instead of like just using like the regular S and Y.
So there's a couple of reasons. Um, One reason is just dollar because I'm trying to attract money,
Yeah.
obviously. Second reason is I went on Spotify and there's actually another couple artists already named Spaceboy.
Oh, true.
So I had to kind of switch that up a little bit. That's why I put that dollar sign there. And I feel like another good move would be to copyright the name. I've been seeing a lot of videos on IG, and then they're telling that you should copyright your artist name just so like you can have the rights on it.
Yeah.
So
Like
I've
trademarking, yeah.
trademark, copyright,
Yeah.
trademark. Yeah. So I feel like that would be another good move for me for sure.
All right, man. Nah, it's a good plan, and I think it kind of stands out from like anyone else and all that too. So
Yeah,
that was pretty
definitely.
interesting. As far as like everything else for the year and all that too, because like now we're in 2026 right now, so we have 11 months to go and all that. So what do you have going on in terms of any new music or shows or creative projects and so forth? And I don't know if you have any like closing remarks you'd like to say.
So for like coming up projects, I'm definitely in the process of releasing a single right now, and that single's all done and everything. It just like it needs more content, visual content, and everything. One thing I do want to work on is like my content strategy and my release strategy. I feel like I kind of lack that right now. I don't have a proper release strategy. So with this one, I'm gonna think it out a bit. I'm gonna like carefully thought process with that. Um, so a single for sure, hopefully by February sometime, and then that single will be part of an EP that I'm gonna do, like a total EP. So definitely you can look forward to a single, an EP, and just more visuals. I want to do more shows. I wanna have my face everywhere in the city, pretty much.
All right, man. Yep, space boy. Dope
Thank you,
having you on,
man.
man. Great conversation, and even through our first interaction to now, like it's like interesting to know more about your story too, and like more about like the music and like everything else too, and like seeing that growth too, like it's amazing to see and all that, and like hopefully I wish it like grows like for the like better and all that too, for the bigger and better and all that. Like you're definitely gonna be like something that people are gonna like look out for in terms of the music, in terms of the passion, craft, and everything else too, and like definitely have you back on and all that, and wish nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me, bro.
Yeah, for
Love.
sure, man.
Thank you.
And yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more. Definitely check out Space Boys music on all platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your music and all that too. Definitely check out like a lot of the stuff either way too, especially with the upcoming music as well. And we're just gonna conclude that off right there. So yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, Space Boys, signing off.